19 days. That's how long one bloke owned his brand new little SUV before he'd had enough. And of those 19 days, the car spent 12 of them back at the dealership being worked on. 12 days out of 19. He barely got to drive the thing he'd just gone into debt for. That's not an old bomb bought off a dodgy lot. That's a stylish, near new car, straight out of a showroom, with a badge plenty of people think is a bit of fun. And it's a perfect example of the trap I want to warn you about today. Because the cars that empty your bank account aren't the rusty old ones. They're the good looking ones. The ones that seem like a bargain, or a bit of European flair, right up until the first big repair bill lands and it's worth more than the car. So today, I'll walk you through 8 cars that'll bankrupt you in repairs, the ones I watch limp into workshops on the back of a tow truck, and exactly why. Because a stylish badge and a comfy seat mean nothing when the timing chain lets go and the quote's got 5 figures on it. I'm Greg, 53, no dealer, no sponsor, no badge I'm protecting. Which means I can tell you the stuff the salesman literally cannot afford to. And I'll be fair, some of these are genuinely lovely to drive. The problem was never the drive. It's the bill. Let's get into it. First, let me arm you. Because once you know what makes a car a money pit, you'll spot one across a car yard. 4 things. 1, a timing chain that fails early. A lot of European engines, especially, weren't built for our heat, and the chain wears in ways it wouldn't in a cold European winter. And when it goes, it can take the whole engine with it. 2, the fragile gearboxes, the dry clutch dual clutch, and the belt style CVT, cheap to build, brutal to fix. 3, the diesel filter, and all the emissions gear, an introduced problem waiting for the kilometres to climb. And 4, parts you simply can't get quickly or cheaply, and electronics only the dealer can touch. Keep those 4 in mind. Every car on this list fails at least one of them, and the worst ones fail the lot. Right? The 8, counting up to the 1 that'll hurt the most. Number 8, the Renault Capture. A cute little French thing, and I understand the appeal. But that little 1.2 turbo petrol has a reputation the brochure won't mention. A timing chain that rattles, and, on the worst ones, fails, along with an appetite for oil that'll catch you out if you're not checking it. The older ones especially. It's a lot of French charm hiding a very uncharming repair. Number 7, the Nissan Juke, the one with the CVT gearbox. We've met this problem before. The belt inside starts to slip, and you'll feel it, surging, hesitation, and on the bad ones, the engine stalling at low speed again and again. And a lot of the fixes that were sorted overseas never properly landed here, so Aussie owners get left holding it. A gearbox that expensive, that fragile, on a small cheap car, that's the definition of a repair trap. Number 6, the Volkswagen T-Roc. And I'll be careful and fair here because Volkswagen does build good cars, but this one carries 2 things I watch drain wallets. That little 1.5 turbo petrol has a timing chain weakness that can show up early, around the 40 to 60,000 mark, along with thirsty oil use. And on top of that sits the dry clutch DSG gearbox. Clever, quick, and a known headache, Volkswagen had recall after recall over. Keep it perfectly serviced and in warranty, and it's fine. Buy a used one on a patchy history, and you're gambling on 2 of the priciest failures going. Number 5. The Jeep Compass. A brand that should be brilliant and breaks hearts instead. The gearbox is the killer. Overheating CVT transmissions on some, a lurching, hard shifting 9-speed on others, and even a recall because the thing could drop itself into neutral while you were driving. When a car's gearbox is recall territory for shifting itself out of gear on the move, that's not a quirk you live with. That's a reason to keep your money. Number 4. The Peugeot 3008. And this one is a genuine cautionary tale. That engine had a timing chain that wears out prematurely. And here is the tell that should stop you cold. Peugeot tried to fix it not once, but with 4 different timing chain designs over the life of the engine. 4 goes at it. And a lot of it comes back to our climate. These European engines do not love the Australian heat, and the chain wears in places it would not back home. When it goes, you are looking at a couple of grand at least, and on the bad ones, a whole new engine. A car company redesigning the same part 4 times is a car company telling you quietly that it is a problem. Number 3. The Range Rover Evoque. The affordable way into a Land Rover. And that word, affordable, is doing an enormous amount of lifting. Because the buy-in might look reasonable, but the ownership is brutal. Gearbox faults, the all-wheel drive system, electrical gremlins, and turbo bills that have hit $7,500 on cars barely broken in. It looks like a bargain slice of luxury. It is, in fact, a direct debit to your service centre. Number 2. The Fiat 500X. The car this whole video started with. On the independent reliability rankings, it comes dead last. I'm talking the very bottom of its class, 17th out of 17. Owners report it burning oil, motor mounts breaking, stalling while driving, endless electrical faults, an electronic parking brake that jams the car solid, and a transmission that slips. It is, on the data, one of the least reliable little cars you can buy. Cute as a button in the showroom, a nightmare on the driveway. And number 1, the big one, the Range Rover Velar. A stunning looking thing, genuinely one of the best looking SUVs ever drawn, and one of the fastest ways to set fire to $100,000 I know of. The diesel's got a timing chain that fails, usually from the filter washing fuel into the oil. It's got air suspension that sinks and costs a fortune. It's got electronics and infotainment that throw faults constantly. And when a car like this goes wrong out of warranty, the repair bill can genuinely run past what the car's worth, at which point a beautiful 100 grand machine becomes uneconomical to fix and it's scrap. If you want the single clearest example of paying a fortune to be bankrupted slowly, it's this one. Admire it in the showroom, then walk away. Now, I promised you a fair go, and here it is, because it's the useful part. In warranty, freshly serviced, some of these are lovely to drive, and I won't pretend otherwise. The regret isn't the drive, it's buying one used out of warranty, with no war chest set aside for the bill that's coming. And the fix is simple. The alternatives are the boring, dependable cars that never see a tow truck. The Toyotas, the Mazdas, the Isuzus, less flair, far less heartbreak. There's no shame in buying the car that just works. So here's how you dodge a repair trap. 4 things. 1, look at the engine and gearbox and run a mile from an out-of-warranty European turbo with a dry clutch or a CVT and no service history. 2. Before you fall for the styling, spend 5 minutes looking up that exact model's known fault and what it costs to fix. Let the repair bill make the decision, not the paint. 3. Think about parts and the dealer, because European bits are dear and slow, and a cheap car you can't get parts for isn't cheap. And 4. Never skip the pre-purchase inspection. The few $100s to put it on a hoist is the best money you'll ever spend. Do those, and you'll drive past every car on this list with a smile and a full bank account. Because the cheapest car you'll ever own isn't the one with the smallest sticker price. It's the one that never sees the inside of a workshop. Now, I want to hear it from you, because plenty of you have been stung. What's the worst repair bill you've ever copped, the car, and the number on the invoice? And if you reckon I've been unfair to one of these, tell me, and make the case. Buy the boring one, and keep your money in your pocket, not your mechanic's.